Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. Shares of Coinbase stock jumped as much as 16% on Tuesday after the cryptocurrency exchange reached an agreement with CBOE's BZX exchange to maintain a surveillance sharing agreement for 5 of their exchange-traded funds that they're trying to launch with Bitcoin. The shares climbed to a high of $92.15 for those of you who just missed the really important piece of information. For some reason, which means that a lot of conversation and deals have been happening behind the scenes, Coinbase has been chosen by nearly every single applicant of a physical Bitcoin ETF to be their custody holder and or the cryptocurrency exchange that they're using when transacting in Bitcoin. Why is this significant? Because, well, I would have assumed that Gemini would have also been somewhere in the conversation. Potentially Kraken, maybe Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange that we have on the planet. Nearly every single applicant, if not all of them who are currently in the running, I think there's 6 or 7 different applications with the CBOE trying to launch 5 by themselves. They're all using Coinbase. Just Coinbase, no other cryptocurrency exchange. That's why I said, like, somewhere behind the scenes, some crazy conversations and or deals are happening, because you would normally assume that they would have multiple names as part of the list. Nope. The agreement was settled on the 21st of June for each of these applications. Amendments to the original filings filed with the US SEC on Tuesday have shown the earlier filing stated that the exchange is expecting to enter into a surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase. I think so. The problem that the US SEC had at the beginning of June was they said that the applicants were not revealing enough information in their filings, in that they wrote they would be working with a crypto exchange as their custody manager and or the company who would be helping them survey the market and or participants who were within their ETF. The SEC said it wasn't adequate. Who are you working with? And every single company came forward and announced that they were all working with Coinbase. So once, you know, something, it's how do I say it? It makes me wonder why or how we got to the point where Coinbase was the only applicable option in the entirety of the United States, even with the news that the SEC was essentially claiming that that Coinbase had done wrongdoing, allegedly. That 6-7 different companies still decided to all go through Coinbase. It says on the 21st of June, 2023, the exchange reached an agreement on terms with Coinbase, Inc., an operator of a US-based spot trading platform for Bitcoin that represents a substantial portion of US-based spot trading for Bitcoin. That represents a substantial portion of US-based and USD-denominated Bitcoin trading. Yep, they said it twice. To enter into a surveillance sharing agreement, or a spot BTC SSA, executed an associated term sheet, the filing has stated. Amendments were filed for all 5 of the CBOE's ETF applications, including Wise Origin, Wisdom Tree, Van Eck, Invesco Galaxy, and Ark 21 shares. So it's more of a, you know, chin rub kind of thing. I wonder how Coinbase got lucky enough, wink, to be able to be the only cryptocurrency exchange that was actually chosen by every single company, because BlackRock also chose Coinbase as well. And it's more so that the Gemini twins have, at least I assumed, had put themselves at the front of the line when it came to regulations and for companies to be able to work with them. Maybe the other companies don't like them. That's also a huge possibility. We all saw the Facebook movie. I mean, who knows how true that is, but yeah, sure. Anyway, also tying directly into that, because for some reason, this always makes it into the popular cryptocurrency news for whatever actual reason. Ark Invest, the investment management business run by Cathie Wood, sold Coinbase shares on Tuesday as the price hit a new high for the year. Shares of Coinbase remained rising. Is that English? Okay. When several spot Bitcoin ETF applicants picked Coinbase as its surveillance sharing partner. Despite a lawsuit with the US SEC, the leading Ark Invest ETF, ARKK, managed by Cathie Wood, sold 135,152 Coinbase shares valued at over $12 million on the 11th of July. According to the transactions database, this is the first time Ark Innovation ETF has sold coin shares since the 26th of July of I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's correct at all. When we had news, no, I'm pretty sure that's not correct. We had news that the US SEC had brought a lawsuit against Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and Gemini. I think Gemini was January. That happened around spring. I'm correct in saying that, right? You know, everyone else was here with me. We had news that Ark Invest had sold their Coinbase stock, I think a couple of hours or half a day before the SEC actually launched I'm going to try and find that and then post it on Twitter. They had a lawsuit. Wait. I think the news was Ark Invest sold their Coinbase stock before the SEC lawsuit had even happened against Coinbase or was made public. I remember talking about that in a video and I was like, well, that's weird timing because Ark Invest had only been accumulating Coinbase stock up until that point only. Massive accumulation, and then they sold before the lawsuit was even announced. And then I made a video about it saying it was really weird that these people have been buying the entire time. Did they know that the lawsuit was about to be announced? And then the next day, they announced that they were buying back all of their stock because people on Twitter were also being like, why'd you guys sell right before the lawsuit happened? I'm certain. I'm going to try and find it after this video. I'm 1,000% certain that that's what happened. I know I'm not going crazy because I go over the news every single gosh darn day. Furthermore, after accumulating shares in Coinbase since last year, Ark Fintech Innovation ETF, or ARKF, unloaded 160,000. Oh, there we go. That's what it was. Ark Fintech Innovation ETF sold 160,000 Coinbase stock in March. Got it. Nailed it. That's exactly what it was. I was like, whoa. I remember that happening because it was so weird. As far as we know in the news that we've been getting, Cathie Wood is like, what's this guy's name from Twitter? Like Jack Dorsey Super Saiyan level on Bitcoin. Like they think that Bitcoin is going to be like the world taker over. But she's also that way for Coinbase stock. She was only buying tons of Coinbase stock, and I was like, you guys sold right before the lawsuits got announced? A little weird. And then they bought the very next day, trying to like save face and be like, oh, look what we bought it back. We didn't sell at a weird time. Despite the volatile cryptocurrency market, U.S. government crackdown and sector bankruptcy, Ark Invest has been a major investor in Coinbase for like 3 years now and is now the fourth biggest shareholder. So if you're wondering why this is big news, it's because cryptocurrency has really weird news. I can't give you anything else but that. Every single time that a company, the letter A, company, any company, fires people, that ends up being popular cryptocurrency news. I don't know what the appeal is there, but it ends up being the most popular news story of the day. Anytime that we hear that a company is buying Bitcoin, bam, of course, popular news. But for some reason, Ark Invest, similar to MicroStrategy, whenever they sneeze loudly, it ends up making it into the news. Whenever Ark Invest buys Coinbase stock, everyone completely goes insane. So news of them selling it once again at the high for this year, of course, made everyone go poo-poo gaga. I don't know what we're supposed to be getting from that. It says Ark Investments Fund made first Coinbase shares dump in a year. It's not that they're dumping the shares. I say this nicely. I think a lot of people who are into crypto or maybe new to the market don't understand that at some point you have to profit from what you have. If you buy it and hold on to it forever, well, you've really made no gains. You haven't had, you don't have a realized profit. If you bought Ethereum at $500 and it goes up to $75,000, you're not a hero for holding on to the coin for that long. It's okay if you sell, make a profit, buy property, buy stock, buy whatever you want to make you feel good in life. You know, it's just like they're not dumping their shares. Like, they bought the shares expecting to make a profit. Shares and stocks are securities. They bought them expecting the price to go up. Maybe they bought a huge amount of stock around when it was $35. It goes to $92. You've nearly tripled your money. You put 40 million into it. You now have 120 million. I'm taking my money out. I'm waiting for the stock to fall back down, and then I'll buy again. There were a lot of dumping their stock. Is this bearish for Coinbase? No, people make profit. Like, why do you think a lot of times whenever we see, you've seen, let's say Bitcoin's at 30,000, Bitcoin goes to 36,000, and we start getting news about Bitcoin potentially falling back down to 34,000, 30, whatever, something $1,000. It's because people are expecting these mega companies who threw $50 million into the market. They made a good, 15, 20% on their money. It's expected that they're going to try and sell off a bit so that they have, that they don't have any losses. They make huge amounts of money back. The price drops a little tiny bit. They buy back in, prices go back up. You're expected to sell at some point to actually make a profit. Oh, that's a lot of words. It says Cathy Wood's Ark Invest cashes in on Coinbase, sells 135,000 shares as price hits $90. Coinbase stock surges nearly 10%, despite Cathy Wood's Ark Invest selling $12 million. Well, as far as I understand it, I'm pretty sure that Coinbase is a, dare I say, multi-billion-dollar company. I don't expect the price to move downwards because someone sold $12 million. That's not how liquidity works. A lot of times in the cryptocurrency space, people write articles, and I cannot roll my eyes enough. People write articles about some crypto whale just moved on chain $13 million worth of Bitcoin. Is a price dump incoming? I'm like, well, let's see. Bitcoin's worth $500 billion. Do you think moving a penny across from one side of the room to the other is going to have a massive effect on Bitcoin's price? No. If we heard that a company had moved $75 billion worth of Bitcoin, okay, maybe the foundation would rumble a tiny bit. Cashing out $12 million. You know how many stock market crashes we would have if companies moved $12 million? Sometimes there are companies that make the news because they sold from their profits $45 million from a stock, and you realize that stock didn't collapse. That's why liquidity is important. That's why when we're talking about the amount of money that's flowing through Bitcoin, it's trillions of dollars. This is where Bitcoin gets a portion of its value from, because Bitcoin has so much money flowing through it. Anyway, that's the Ark Invest sold some of their stock, and Coinbase's stock still went up because they've been chosen by 9 different companies as the custody surveillance solution for their ETF. For those of you who are wondering the idea of surveillance, as far as I currently understand it from all the news that's floating around, they will kind of be like the snitch, if you will, for everything that's going on within the fund, where all the money's going, who's holding what, who's custodying everything. Coinbase will kind of be the surveyor, and they will relay that information to authorities, to the SEC, and also subsequently to the ETF holders as well. So Coinbase is kind of the, the tell-all company in all of this. So cool. Coinbase's stock went up. I have personally no intention. Does Coinbase even have a dividend? I assume they don't. I have no intention of buying Coinbase stock ever. This is kind of a Bitcoin futures kind of thing. I don't want to deal in US dollars anymore. I'd rather, if you are betting on a company who's betting on Bitcoin, I would rather hold the physical cryptocurrency myself as opposed to being like, yeah, let me get back into that US dollar. It's not I expect Bitcoin to at some point hit $250,000 and or $500,000. I expect other altcoins to also do a 10, 15, 20, 30x between this halving and the next. I don't really see stocks in my immediate future. So, but some people love them. So, go get that money. All right, this has gotten weird. Okay, let's move on. Also in the news, and I don't disagree with this, South Korea will require companies that own or issue crypto to disclose their holdings in financial statements from 2024 onward, according to draft rules released by the country's financial regulator on Tuesday. Why do I agree with this? I've been in crypto and in financial markets for so long that I understand how easy it is for a company to be able to manipulate the prices of cryptocurrencies, i.e., imagine you're JP Morgan Chase or Fidelity or the New York Stock Exchange or Warren Buffett or any of the other slew of billionaires out there who over the course of the last couple of years have made sure to let us know how terrible, awful, rotten, ridiculous, dumb, and egregious the cryptocurrency market is. This causes, whether you know it or not, a huge amount of people to listen to their words. And they're a huge fraction of people who never end up getting into the cryptocurrency space. Why? Because they hear that these gigantic entities don't believe in Bitcoin. He's only buying stocks. He's made money the last 40 years. I'm definitely going to agree with and listen to what this guy says. And then we hear a couple of years later that these people have actually been into crypto since 2014. Well, what happened? That's market manipulation. They made sure to keep the prices down low for themselves. They made sure that millions of people around the world that did not get into the cryptocurrency space. It's the same every single day. It was like once a month at some point. We kept on hearing about these billionaires who were into crypto, who told us in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, how bad crypto was. And we found out that they were mining Bitcoin since 2015. So what's the solution? If you are going to, and now I would even go a step further, but I'll bring it back. As a company, if you are going to make a statement about crypto, about what's happening in the cryptocurrency space, I would like to know how much crypto you have. And I say that from the standpoint of, there's a huge difference in a normal person owning 1 million Satoshis or owning even half a Bitcoin. If you're lucky enough to own an entire Bitcoin, here's a golf clap for you. But when you talk about a company or corporation who has billions of dollars backing them and they can sway the entirety of the market, if this company says anything negative about Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano or XRP, I want to know exactly how much they have because I want to know what their impact is on the market that I'm currently in. As a mega billion trillion dollar company, you should not be able to willy-nilly just say whatever you want about the market. Like, no. Like I believe in corporation transparency in some sort of way. When you have gotten to the point where you could potentially be, air quotes, too big to fail or too big to move a market, you can't just go on the news and be like, oh my gosh, Apple's terrible. I would never own Apple. And then the next day you bought like 1 million shares of Apple. Same exact thing should hold true for the cryptocurrency, especially as we are a very small market. You may not notice it, but our market is incredibly tiny compared to the rest of the money that's actually out there in the world. So I totally agree with it. It's the same exact thing when you have politicians around the world. Like, to a certain degree, I think if you are a public servant, if you were voted in by people in your county, your district, your town, by your country, you should not be able to go on TV and lie about Bitcoin. And then we find out years later that you actually own some. That's why I like when we heard a couple of years ago, for those of you who missed it, it was some Eastern European country. They mandated that the people who are in parliament who were voted in as public servants, I didn't vote them in, but you understand. One voted them in. They had to say how much crypto they had. And we found out some of these people had millions of dollars worth of crypto. Why is that important? Because there's been other countries around the world where these people have come forward, these people in parliament, and they're like, oh, crypto's terrible. And then 3 years later, we find out that they actually own crypto. They were trying to get people out of the market so that they could buy cheaper. Market manipulation. Under the new rules, companies will need to disclose information about the quantity, characteristics, business models, and accounting policies regarding the sale of virtual currencies, as well as profits, volume, and market value of their crypto. The Financial Services Commission, or the FSC, announced on deciding the draft rules, saying that the measures aim to improve accounting transparency following the passing of the Virtual Asset User Protection Act on the 30th of June. I think we should have this everywhere. I personally don't think that individuals should have to do this, but I think if you are a multi-billion-dollar company who could sway the market in some sort of way, just let us know how much you have, like completely. Let us know so that if you decide to go onto the news and say that you don't have something, we can all be like, oh, they're definitely lying. They've been in the market since 2014. They have 118,000 Bitcoin. Something is up. But I mean, it depends on how anti-corrupt your country actually is to make sure that companies are held accountable for the things that they do within any financial market. Yeah. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See